Who's your conductor?
Fred.
Oh, is that right? Is he on OT?
Uh-huh.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. My name's Mark Kramer. I'm a pool freight engineer. Did you look on the computer to see we haul the nation's freight? I go to work any time of day or night. And there's times of the day that are very difficult to sleep. And that part of the work is difficult. A lot of people think that our work isn't a job, it's more of a way of life. Usually I can predict when I'm going to go to work, but in the transportation industry, there's a lot of things that can affect those times, and you can find yourself going to work when you're not rested. That's the life that we have. Even if you've been in the industry for 30 years, your body's never used to trying to sleep in the middle of the day or in the early evening.
In general, it's difficult to sleep outside of the biological time. We all have an internal clock called the circadian rhythm, and that dictates how alert we are and how sleepy we are at different times of day. So people who work night shifts that try to sleep during the day, their sleep may not be as good a quality as normal. Most of us need 8 hours a night. Then those of us who get 6 or 7 hours a night for days or even a couple of weeks will start to become more and more sleep deprived, and that will influence our alertness and performance.
This is my wife's room, and this is my son's room, and this is my room where I sleep.
You know, we finally figured it out over the years. He has to have his separate bedroom. Getting up in the middle of the night, I don't hear him leaving a lot of times. I mean, it works. It just has helped us tremendously.
I have a dark piece of vinyl over my window to keep my room nice and dark. I can sleep any time of the day or night.
Keeping the shades drawn at home, the body becomes essentially fooled to respond as if that's nighttime. We recommend to actually brighten the work conditions at night, and the body responds as if that's still daytime.
And a lot of times it's just a matter of trying different things and seeing what works for you. One of the most important things is having a family that will help you try to rest, and they understand what you're trying to do.
I try to help him out a lot by making sure it's real quiet in the house here. I like to turn the house phone off and try to catch anybody that comes to the front door.
If you know you're going to need to get some rest for a late night run, you don't want to drink soda with caffeine in it. You don't want to drink coffee. You want to stay away from desserts and sugars. You want to stay away from anything to keep you from getting late afternoon rest or whatever it is you need to get through a night run.
For sleep-restricted individuals, I would highly encourage naps.
When I don't have to work, this is my favorite position right here. This is it, Daddy. There's nothing better than this when you're working. Right here. If you can get 20 minutes of it. Now, if I stop and I only get 2 minutes, then it's detrimental.
Our company developed a policy for napping while we're on duty. When the opportunity arises and a briefing has been held by crew members, one person can get that rest.
Sleep essentially recharges the battery. However, if you're chronically sleep deprived, then even when we fully recharge the battery from a good night of sleep, that battery drains much faster than it otherwise would. And so one potential strategy is to try to squeeze in naps. The more the battery can be charged before it's used, the better. If all of a sudden you feel that your eyelids are getting heavy, that you're fighting sleep, then countermeasures may be helpful, such as caffeine.
From our research, we find there's a period of about an hour until caffeine reaches peak levels in the blood. It's very important to anticipate when you want the effect of the caffeine to be acting. Waiting until you're already very tired will result in an hour period of time in which you're still not performing at an optimal level.
A lot of guys will time it that they'll have that caffeine in their system at the part of their trip where they're the most tired.
I would recommend limiting the use of caffeine habitually and reserving it for just times when it's really needed to combat fatigue. So one possible technique for combating high levels of fatigue is what's known as a caffeine nap, in which a dose of caffeine is taken just before a short nap. Now, due to caffeine's delayed response, it will come into action just around the end of the nap, if the nap is timed to be, say, 30 to 60 minutes. And that can help combat the grogginess just after having woken up.
Our family time together is what makes everything worthwhile. The railroad job can be difficult because of the hours. But you have to be aware of what your body's doing. Make sure that you can get sleep. If you're tired, have a cup of coffee. If you can take a little rest and take a nap, you have to stay safe. Your family depends on it.